The world stopped for 1 hour. Just 60 minutes. That's all it took for Kim Seokjin, Jin of BTS, to send shockwaves through the global fashion and entertainment industries. At Gucci's Spring/Summer 2026 showcase in Milan, the eldest BTS member didn't just walk the runway, he danced. And in that moment, millions of armies across continents melted into tears, awe, and uncontainable joy. Dressed in a custom silver-threaded ensemble that shimmered like moonlight under the grand chandelier of Palazzo Mezzanotte, Jin stepped into the spotlight not as a model, not as a singer, but as a living embodiment of elegance and emotion. The music swelled, an orchestral remix of BTS's Epiphany, and Jin moved with a grace that defied gravity. Every gesture, every turn of his wrist, every glance toward the camera was a masterclass in storytelling. It wasn't choreography, it was confession. The performance, choreographed by Gucci's in-house creative director in collaboration with Jin himself, was a tribute to legacy, vulnerability, and the quiet strength that has defined his journey since BTS's debut. As the camera panned across the marble columns and gilded balconies, Jin's silhouette danced alone. Yet behind him, the presence of BTS was unmistakable. The screen flickered with flashes of RM's poetic voiceovers, J-Hope's signature footwork, and Jungkook's haunting falsetto. V's baritone hummed beneath the strings, while Suga's beats pulsed like a heartbeat. Even Jimin's ethereal elegance seemed to echo in Jin's posture. It was a solo performance, yes, but it was also a love letter to 7 souls who changed the world together. The video, released simultaneously on Gucci's official YouTube and BTS's global fan platform Weverse, reached 10 million views in under an hour. Twitter trended with hashtags like #JinGucciDance and #Gucci2026JinLegend, while fashion critics from Vogue to Harper's Bazaar called it the most emotionally resonant moment in Milan Fashion Week history. But for ARMY, it was more than fashion. It was healing. Jin, who had returned from military service just months prior, had kept a low profile until now. This performance marked his re-entry into the public eye, and he chose to do it not with words, but with movement. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. A man once bound by duty now dancing freely in a palace of art and memory. Gucci's theme for the season, La Famiglia, found its perfect muse in Jin, a son, a brother, a global icon whose quiet dignity has always anchored BTS's storm as the first half of the video closes. Jin stands beneath the chandelier, arms outstretched, eyes closed. The camera zooms out slowly, revealing the empty ballroom behind him. No applause, no crowd, just silence. And in that silence, armies around the world felt the weight of every lyric, every sacrifice, every moment that brought them here. The second half of the video opens with a slow fade-in. Jin walking through the empty corridors of the palazzo, his footsteps echoing against marble floors. The camera follows from behind, capturing the subtle tension in his shoulders, the quiet power in his stride. He's no longer performing, he's reflecting, and with every step, the weight of BTS's journey seems to unfold around him. Suddenly, the screen splits. On one side, Jin continues his solitary walk. On the other, archival footage of BTS floods the frame. 7 boys in a cramped studio, rehearsing late into the night. RM's voice narrates softly, "We didn't know where we were going, but we knew we had to go together." The juxtaposition is breathtaking. Jin, now a global fashion icon, retraces the path that began in anonymity and sacrifice. Then, the music shifts. A reimagined orchestral version of Spring Day begins to play, and Jin stops in front of a massive mirror. He stares at his reflection, and for a moment, the camera captures something raw: grief, gratitude, and grace. Behind him, the mirror flickers with holographic silhouettes of the other BTS members. Jimin twirls in slow motion. V gazes into the distance. Jungkook leaps midair. J-Hope spins with fire in his eyes. Suga plays invisible keys, and RM walks forward, hand outstretched. Jin doesn't turn. He simply closes his eyes. This is the climax of the performance. Not a dance, but a reckoning. A moment where Jin confronts the past, honors the present, and embraces the future. The choreography resumes, this time more grounded, more intimate. Jin's movements are slower, heavier, as if each step carries the memories of a decade. He dances not for applause, but for closure. Gucci's creative team later revealed that this segment was inspired by Jin's handwritten journal entries during his military service. Lines like, "I miss the silence between us," and "I wonder if the stars remember our names," were woven into the visual narrative. projected subtly onto the ballroom walls. Armies who caught these Easter eggs online erupted in emotion, sharing frame-by-frame breakdowns and decoding every symbol, every gesture. As the video nears its end, Jin walks back into the center of the ballroom. The chandelier dims, the music fades, and then he bows, not to the audience but to the empty space around him. A bow of respect, of love, of promise. The final shot lingers on a single white rose placed on the floor, a tribute to BTS, a gift to ARMY, a symbol of purity, resilience, and eternal connection. Within minutes of release, the second half of the video shattered records. Gucci's site crashed from traffic. BTS's Weverse flooded with messages in every language. Armies from Seoul to Sao Paulo, Jakarta to Johannesburg posted reaction videos, many in tears. Fashion critics called it a cinematic masterpiece. Dance experts hailed it as a new genre of emotional choreography. But for those who followed BTS from the beginning, it was something deeper. It was a reunion, a resurrection, a reminder that even in silence, their story continues. Jin didn't speak a single word in the entire 10-minute video. He didn't need to. His body spoke volumes. His presence rewrote history. And in doing so, he reminded the world why BTS isn't just a band. It's a phenomenon, family, a force. As the screen fades to black, one final message appears in delicate script. For the ones who waited, for the ones who believed, I'm home. And with that, the world exhaled. Jin is back. BTS is eternal. And ARMY? They're right where they've always been, watching, loving, and dancing in the dark with him. The final chapter of Jin's Gucci 2026 performance begins not with movement, but with memory. The screen fades in from black to reveal a quiet rooftop at dusk. Jin stands alone, dressed in a soft ivory suit, the wind catching his hair as the city lights flicker below. This isn't Milan, it's Seoul, a symbolic return. A bridge between the global stage and the home that built him. As the camera pans upward, a soft instrumental of The Truth Untold begins to play. The lyrics are absent, but the emotion is unmistakable. Jin begins to move again, this time slower, more introspective. His dance is no longer theatrical, it's personal. Each step echoes the weight of years spent in silence, in service, in longing. And then, the screen splits once more. On one side, Jin, dancing alone. On the other, BTS, together. The footage is archival, but it feels alive. RM laughing during a recording session. J-Hope teaching choreography backstage. Suga adjusting his mic before a concert. Jimin and V sharing a quiet moment before a show. Jungkook running through a corridor, breathless with excitement. These aren't performances. They're fragments of a life shared. And Jin's dance becomes a thread that ties them all together. Then, the most unexpected moment arrives. The screen goes dark. Silence. And suddenly, Jin speaks. Just one line. I never danced alone. The voiceover is soft, almost whispered, but it detonates across the fandom. Armies flood social media with reactions, decoding the line, connecting it to past lyrics, interviews, and fan theories. The phrase becomes a mantra, a reminder, promise. The final dance sequence begins. Jin returns to the ballroom, now transformed. The chandelier glows warmer. The marble reflects golden light. And behind him, 7 shadows appear. Not literal, not holograms, but symbolic presences. Each member of BTS is represented through light, movement, and sound. RM's voice echoes through the walls. J-Hope's rhythm pulses beneath the floor. Suga's melody hums in the air. Jimin's grace floats in the curtains. V's depth lingers in the shadows. Jungkook's energy crackles in the chandelier's glow. Jin dances among them. Not alone, but surrounded, supported, loved. The choreography builds to a crescendo. Jin spins, leaps, bows, and finally collapses to his knees, hands pressed to the floor. The camera zooms in on his face, eyes closed, tears visible. Not of sadness, of release. And then, the final shot, a close-up of Jin's hand reaching out.